There's no situation or trouble that you could possibly be in that couldn't be made exponentially worse with the addition of the state and law enforcement. Not dozens, not hundreds, but thousands of rounds were fired by at least 75 Pittsburgh officers who are now on leave after firing their weapons during an hours long, 6.5 hours standoff for a bank robbery, kidnapping, mass shooting event. No, this is an eviction attempt. You can't even, well, you can make this stuff up, and it sounds like they are making it up, but apparently this is something that reportedly happened. The suspect, William Hardison Sr., shot at deputies trying to serve an eviction notice, resulting in a standoff that lasted 6.5 hours. So we don't really know the truth because it's being filtered down through the officials and the authorized to fake streams, CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra Media. And if you're looking for truth in the intelligence community funded media, you're probably not going to find it. We're going to try to wade through it. We're going to try to parse through some stuff. But as it stands right now, there is no body cam evidence. There's no body cam footage of this actually having happened the way they said it went down. We're going to look at the story, and we're going to look at what they say and possibly what else might have happened, and maybe throw out some things like, hey, what should have been done? Was the police response like this actually necessary? Wait till you see some of these pictures. You're not going to believe, well, yeah, you will, how many cops actually showed up for one man, for the serving of one eviction notice. And it looks like they're calling this guy a sovsit. You know what that is? I'm not going to say it. At least 75 law enforcement officers are being placed on paid administrative leave. It's going to be, it says on leave, but you know it's a paid vacation after firing their weapons in an hours-long standoff with a man who shot at sheriff's deputies when they went to serve an eviction notice. Now, how did they serve that eviction notice? How did they present themselves? Did the cops already knew in advance that this guy was dastardly anti-government? Says deputies had gone to serve a notice in the city's Garfield neighborhood when the man, quote, turned violent and began shooting, says the cops. That's the Allegheny Sheriff's Office. The suspect, William Hardison Sr., was found dead inside the residence after gunfire was exchanged intermittently for roughly 6.5 hours. Now, we covered this during the live stream, and, you know, sporadically every now and then, you could hear the what sounded like gunshots. Mike Manko, a spokesman for the Sheriff's Department, confirmed in an email that 16 deputies were placed on administrative leave after the incident. They all fired their weapons, according to this affiliate station. Quote, here's what they say. We were aware of the actors' disdain for government when we went to serve the eviction notice, which is why we had extra deputies on the detail. Yeah, you had extra deputies, but we are aware of the actors' disdain for government? Not the man, not the person who we're serving the eviction on, not the assailant, but the actor. You hardly, I don't remember a news story where they actually outright called the guy that they were shooting at an actor. That's very interesting to me. In light of all we know about law enforcement, in light of all we know about the activities of law enforcement and what they actually try to perpetrate, sometimes in advance, to kind of send a message to the public. Hey, you want to be anti-government? You want to be a sovereign, you know what? You want to be somebody who, even questions the government? Well, we're going to do our best to pull out all the stops in the media to vilify you. Make sure that you're painted as the villain. We're painted as the heroes. We walk away scot-free. You don't get a chance to walk away at all or even tell your story. He said the sheriff had reached out to the deputies personally, and they will all go through a psych evaluation next week before being cleared to come back to work. Just something awfully fishy about this whole story. And I ain't buying it. A dozen more Allegheny police officers were also placed on, it's going to be paid administrative leave. They're out there having fun in the sun. They don't care about a psychological evaluation. It's all going to be a dog and pony show anyway. All 12 of the officers fired their weapons. A department spokesperson confirmed 47 Pittsburgh police officers who fired their weapons were also placed on vacation time leave. But I want to show you this video right here of this guy. This is absolutely bizarre because supposedly this guy has a daughter who is near the situation and is potentially in danger, but watch how he acts in front of this news crew and what he says.
No, take cover, a little bit of cover,
Sir, what's going on? You have a daughter in there?
Active shooter, corner of Matilda and Broad. They went to serve the guy a warrant or something. The guy opened up the door, military power assault rifle, started blasting. We've been hearing gunshots. There's helicopters. My little girl was in the house alone right now. She's back here. She hears the gunshots. The police are going to try.
Military style assault rifle. Got to get that out. He's got all his facts. All the ducks are in a row. Supposedly he has his daughter on the phone right here.
Try to get her out of there while Dad's standing on the corner, not even a 1 second walk away. So she's on the phone with me now.
How are you feeling? Like,
my adrenaline is rushing. I want to get her out of there, exit this area, and get to safety. This is one of the craziest things that's ever happened on.
Something in the back of my mind and in my heart is telling me law enforcement here.
This side of town, besides that shooting up here with the 3 officers in Stan Heights, this is literally probably the most insane thing that's ever happened. I mean, you can see, look around. We've never seen nothing like this before, so this is a pretty crazy world we're living in.
You actually saw the gun in it?
I hear you here, boom, boom, crack, 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 boom, 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 boom. You know, it's like 2-5. What, baby? You hear it? You hear the gunshot? Look.
Yeah.
You okay, baby? All right, yeah. Lock the door. Close the door in this. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, you're fine.
What's she saying?
Yeah, what's she saying?
Madeline, what are you seeing, baby?
The shooter. Tell her you're with the couple. I'm with the cop.
Oh, she's with the police officer.
Good.
I don't know. I just don't know about that. Allegheny Sheriff Kevin Krause said that he could not count the number of gunfire volleys between the suspect and the police officers. I mean, he had a lot of ammunition in that house, and certainly all of us were strapped, with ammunition, and we were calling for additional ammunition. Like I said, we tried to give him every opportunity to come out. How did they do it? I'm not for what this guy did, if indeed he came to the door just firing. But what led up to those events? Were they threatening his life? Stay tuned, because there is another report from an eyewitness supposedly about what actually happened. And again, we don't have body camera or dash camera footage of the actual initial confrontation with this guy. It's unclear how many bullets were fired as numerous local and federal agencies responded to the scene. And we are talking hundreds, if not 1,000 cops on the scene. They had the roads blocked off for 6.5, 7 hours. They had the Bearcats coming in. They had this military equipment. They had robots coming in, excavators coming in, rolling down the streets. A spokesperson for the Pennsylvania State Police said that the large police response was in part due to the suspect opening fire in a densely populated area. So if the problem is one suspect opening fire in a densely populated area, then what is the police state response? Let's get 1,000 officers arriving on the scene so they can also open fire in a densely populated area. It's kind of like when a cop says that he's going to catch you speeding. You pass the radar detector. He says you're doing 75 and a 65, but it takes him a little while to get out because he's got to wait for traffic. And then he's got to speed 115, 120 miles an hour to catch up with you. Now, if the issue is really public safety, you don't just have one speeding car on the road. Now you have a speeding car and a car that's speeding even faster than the original speeding car, which makes things more dangerous. So if the problem is one person opening fire in a public place, then the solution to the problem can't be hundreds of officers or 75 officers opening fire in a public place. But that's the cop mentality. The incident started out as an eviction, yes, but quickly turned into an attempted homicide of law enforcement officers within seconds of them going to the door. How did they go to the door? Word is there's a sledgehammer involved. Stay tuned for that. Generally speaking, an attempted homicide of law enforcement officers when the suspect is firing hundreds of rounds in a densely populated area or neighborhood will elicit a large enforcement response because we got to keep the public safe. Again, I'm not for this guy who they were serving the eviction on opening fire. If it's true that he did that, he's basically becoming a threat to other people. He's threatening other people's life, liberty, property, and safety. But my gosh, adding this to it, is that really the answer? Pittsburgh Public Safety Director Lee Schmidt said in a news release that he would ensure employees and community members are, quote, afforded all of the services they need to help process what they have witnessed. So they were saying thousands of rounds were fired. But let me show you this right here. Let me show you some of these pictures of the police response. And just because I promised you that I would show you, here's what one of the witnesses said. This is from the dailymail.co.uk. Witnesses said that after banging on the door, I could see it, police, we're here to serve an eviction notice, sledgehammer, that police used a sledgehammer to get inside. It was at this point that the gunfire started. So could it have been an issue of self-defense? Was the guy really a squatter? We know how they wanted to, frame this guy as a sob sit. Look at this guy sitting in the grass right here with his high-powered rifle. You got snipers all the way around. We're going to watch this video right here in a second. But I want to show you this street view of this police response. Look at this. This is just one of the street views of the police response. Look, how many people are in this picture right here? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Let's call it 29 to 36 people. Oh, and then there's these people in the foreground. So you got almost 50 people in this one photograph. And I'm missing people. Look at this one right here. I mean, you should have seen the cars piling up behind them. There's way more pictures than this right here. Let's listen to what this guy said. This is back in 2019. This is the guy that supposedly they were serving the eviction notice on and, required such a massive police presence with thousands, just not dozens would be bad enough. Hundreds would be off the chart. But thousands of bullets flying through the air in this neighborhood, you're going to keep us safe that way, officers? Listen to this guy.
They ain't got the status. This ain't their land. This is my land. This is my land. I'm a Moor. I'm allowed to travel this land. They swore an oath to this. This is the oath they swore on. They all know it. Need no license. I'm not under y'all's doors. I don't have a contract with y'all. There is no contract with y'all.
We do know that this kind of mentality is looked down upon and hated by those in government who want to rule you and rob you.
I was just downtown with this same. Sorry.
You see, I ain't touch him. You see that, right?
Yeah, I'm a Moor. I got every right to travel from here to Timbuktu.
I got a right to travel from here to Timbuktu. Is that true? Under the Declaration of Independence, it's true, but nobody seems to want to follow the Declaration of Independence. So what do you think? What do you think about this massive police response? I wish there was, let's see if we can, let me see if I can show you more. There was a drone shot of the police turnout. I'm going to see if I can try to find it while we're watching some of this. but they bring out these heavily armed military-style carriers for one guy to serve an eviction notice. And the police response and the turnout on these kind of events is just frighteningly hilarious.
At least 75 law enforcement officers fired shots in Garfield Wednesday, and every one of them turned their weapons in. Most of them are now on paid leave. Among them, 12 Allegheny County police officers, 16 Allegheny County sheriff's deputies, and 47 Pittsburgh police officers. The deputies and Pittsburgh officers aren't allowed to return until meeting with a psychologist. That's standard operating procedure.
That is the protocol. So they go through a series of processes, evaluation to determine, make sure they're fit for duty.
Sources tell Channel 11 the officers will also be interviewed by state police as they are conducting the investigation, and only then allowed to return to work, a process that takes 3 to 5 days. The chief also said that several thousand rounds were fired. And
several thousand rounds were fired, according to reports. Let me just show you some of these photos here. I'm not going to go any further into this ABC News report. It's really not necessary. I just want to show you some of these photos of the massive police response. And just think each and every one of these people makes $20, $30, $35, $40 an hour. Okay. And this is a 6.5 hour, 7 hour standoff. And so all these people are getting paid. I hope I can find the drone shot. You guys may be able to find it. I'm just going to leave it at there were if 75 of them fired thousands of rounds, which is reportedly 7% of the Pittsburgh police force. You should see the drone shots of the actual police presence up and down this street, blocking off the roadways, putting people in danger, lobbing fast-moving projectiles into the air, bringing out the Bearcats, bringing out the militarized equipment. It's a crazy response. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. I really appreciate you joining me. Remember, the price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance. And freedom is dangerous. The only thing more dangerous is not having that freedom. I'll see you in the next video.